German filmmaker Dorothee Wenner, who has worked on 2 documentary films in Nigeria, is back for a 3rd project. Entertainment News had a chat with her about the new film.
German filmmaker and programmer Dorothee Wenner is not new to Nigeria. She has shot 2 feature-length documentaries in the country, and it appears she's back for the 3rd. Entertainment News on Channels Television met with her in Lagos, where she has been working on securing locations for her next project. She won't tell us too much about it.
It's not about Nigeria, but about the relationship between Germany and Nigeria. It's about time that YTs stop making films about Africa, but there are plenty and many very talented film directors here in Nigeria. And to tell the Nigerian stories, that is better to be made by Nigerians. My film will be about the relationship.
With over 10 feature-length films to her credit, Dorothee found special interest in African films when she shot her first documentary in Nigeria on the Nigerian film industry.
I portrayed the Nigerian film industry in the state of some years back. Lots has changed. Some things have become more challenging in different ways. Things have developed in a nice way in other terrains. So the second film was a documentary, but of a format which now in Europe we call hybrid documentaries. So what we did was to invite Nigerian businessmen and women who had a cool idea for what they would want to do in Germany. We casted 5 businessmen who were real and who acted as themselves.
It's a business discussion. So when you are doing a business discussion, you know your issues before you go for the meeting. And as much as possible, you should be able to cover them.
So what I like is that the entire scene really took matters into their own hands. The problem for me, what I see in many other African countries is, for instance, people say they want to make a film or they want to become a filmmaker, but they don't start. Now in Nigeria, people really got going and said, well, we develop this industry and we make the films that we want to tell to our stories, and also that our stories are those which the people in Nigeria and beyond would like to see.
In 2013, Dorothee spent weeks on different locations in Lagos telling her business on screen story drama consult. The docudrama documents interaction of Nigerian businessmen with their German counterparts. Her experience during this period said a thing or two to her about the Nigerian film industry.
So I'm having strictly an outsider's point of view now. So I will say a few points that I think are, reoccurrent problems. One is the industry of how it is formed at the moment is purely driven by commercial decision makers, or mainly. So everyone who wants to do something out of the box, people who are there with projects that are innovative and challenge the existing marketing patterns, do not get very much support. And I think most people who are in the decision-making corpus are those which are by nature belonging to the very conservative element of the filmmaking chain. So for instance, a filmmaker who says, well, I've made enough money if I'm doing these films the way I do, why should I improve, let's say, sound? Sound is a major problem. Sound is a major problem when looking at how the quality is like. To have a good sound in Lagos is difficult, looking only at the generators, but it's not impossible. There is no excuse, in my view, of not having better sound, except it costs something, and the people who finance the movie might say, well, I rather have this star who requires X amount of salary to go into that direction.
Dorothee Wenner also curates the Berlin Film Festival back in her home country and the Dubai Film Festival in the United Arab Emirates. With Nollywood touted as the second most prolific film industry after Hollywood, the country is yet to have any of its local production admitted in any of the major categories of these festivals.
We've had many entries, and we started out, in fact, this is a couple of years back, where we were putting together a special Nigerian focus in the Berlin Film Festival to expose our audiences to what's going on in Nigeria. We did this for 2 years. It was kind of like a niche. And then many of the Nigerian professionals who came to Berlin said, well, now we don't want no longer this niche. We want to be regarded just like everyone else and not having a special, a special niche for African films. And of course I respected this, my colleagues did as well. So now we are waiting for the one film from Nigeria that will make it maybe into the forum, maybe into the panorama, or maybe into the competition section, and that will come without any Nigerian bonus. This will be one that competes with the roughly 10,000 entries we have per year. The films that were sent to us, there were some, we discussed them at length, and it wasn't that we said it's necessarily a bad film. So when we don't invite a film, it's not that it's a bad film, but maybe the committee, looking at maybe 20, 40 reasons of why inviting a film into the program, there have to be a lot of reasons for the film. And in the end, even though some were seriously considered, they were not making it in the end. But that has to do also with competition.
Her love and passion for African cinema is remarkable, and these she demonstrated by volunteering to meet and mentor some young filmmakers in Nigeria.